bothering me. You know, when I see you talk about, you know, tonight, our president is presidential, or when you meet with Jared Kushner, and before I get into that, right? How instrumental, because, you know, Donald Trump's administration is getting a lot of credit for this First Step Act. And you just mentioned 8 years before, we had no real prison reform. Who gets the credit for this? For what's happening
in
now?
my mind?
Yes.
The grassroots folks who fought for it. That, listen, this was a fight that was led by formerly incarcerated people like Topeka, like Louis K. Reed, and other people whose names don't get mentioned, who, when the deal went down, were making the phone calls, walking the halls of Congress, flooding, you know, district offices with phone calls, and keeping this thing alive. The First Step Act was opposed by 100 civil rights and civil liberties organizations in the first instance because it started off in the House relatively modest, and frankly, it was going to give Trump some love. And when you put those two things together, it was hard for civil rights and civil liberties groups to support it, so they opposed it. But the groups who were dealing with folk every day behind bars, who people were coming home, they said, "Listen, we're gonna have to get this at least passed through the House and then try to improve it." And so what you saw was a grassroots fight from formerly incarcerated, directed, impacted people that every time the establishment press said we were dead, every time that the Democrats tried to walk away and the Republicans tried to walk away, every time they wouldn't say die. And so we wound up with 330 votes to 38 in the House, which is unbelievable. 87 to 12 in the Senate. Would have been 88 if Lindsey Graham had got off the plane in time. And Donald Trump signed the bill in the Oval Office with Topeka Sam and myself and Jessica Jackson and other, you know, activists in the room. On December 21st, December 22nd, the government shut down. So America could not even agree to keep its government open, but they somehow agreed with us on this. And so people then worry about the credit. I don't worry about the credit. Listen, there's enough credit to go around. You had good people in both parties in the House, good people in both parties in the Senate. You had Donald Trump doing something good on legislation, though he did something bad on administration with the Department of Justice, which is terrible. Obama did good stuff on administration. He had a great Department of Justice, but then legislatively, he wasn't able to get it across the finish line. So everybody can pick and choose your credit. Now, can we quit arguing about that and talk about the people who now can come home?